心得ております。
同じ手がもう一度通じるか疑問だな。
Yeah, probably won't.
奥様も同じご懸念を持たれている。
If episode 4 is any indication.
そのため、今年は書斎から一切お出にならない方向で行くことになった。
つまり、ずっと書斎にこもられていることにするというわけですか。
It's the only thing we can do.
そして書斎に入ることが許されているのは、我ら三人、片翼の翼を許された使用人だけだ。
ということは、僕たち3人で親方様の嘘を突き通さなくちゃならないわけか。
そうだ。親族の方々は親方様の具合や機嫌などを問い詰めてくるだろう。よどみなく答え、不審に思われることがなきよう注意するよ
うに。はい、心得ました。
姉さんはすぐどじるからな。
Thanks, Cannon.
むしろ当日は風邪か何か理由をつけて欠席した方がいいんじゃない？
そんなひどい。
Cannon wasn't just making fun of her, he only wanted to relieve Shannon from the burden of working on this most serious of days.
源氏様、シャノンがシフトに入る必要はないのでは？
Yeah, you only need one of them.
僕たちだけで十分やります。
それはできん。奥様から我ら三人は必ずシフトに入るようにとの厳命だ。
はい、やり遂げる覚悟です。
どじらないでよ。
どじりません。
Shannon grew sullen, and Cannon shrugged. Then Genji told them that they weren't taking this seriously enough.
Shannon, Canon.
Fucking pay attention.
すでにお使いする親方様はお亡くなりになっている。しかし、本当の意味でお亡くなりになるまで、我らの奉仕は続く。あの書斎は無人ではない。今なお、親方様がおられ、日々の研究に勤しまれているのだ。それを深く心得よ。
はい、源氏様。
お父様がすでに亡くなっている。そんなバカな。
Is it though?
まあまあ、例えの話や。武田信玄はその死を3年の間秘密にするよう遺言したっちゅう有名な故事があるやろ。知らんか？
そんな話もあったかしら。日本史はよくわかんないわ。
当時武田は織田や徳川との戦の真っ最中だった。そこで信玄が死んだなんて話になったら戦況に悪影響が出るやろ。そやから自分の死を3年隠すように遺言したんや。秀吉かてそうやで。主君織田信長の死を敵方に知られんように徹底的に情報規制を行い、素早く毛利と和解して中国大返しを行い明智を撃ったんやないか。
Yeah, sure, totally. This is, I have no reason to doubt any of this. Okay, I know all of this. What the hell?
一方の柴田勝家はそこで失敗したんや。
Though to be fair, I probably could recite a lot of other history that's probably just as obscure as this shit. It just depends which country.
敵の上杉に信長の死を知られ、思わぬ反撃を受けて足止めを食らい、その後の秀吉との後継者争いで大きく遅れを取ることになったんや。
Hideyoshi, who had a strong fascination with the commanders of the Sengoku period, would always show off his knowledge whenever he got the chance. Nothing like a show-off. Wincing slightly, Ava made him get back to his point.
早い話が、わしは去年の親族会議からずっと違和感を取ったんや。
You mean the idea that he hasn't come out of his study or that we haven't seen him at all?
あれは私やルドルフが遺産の話をしてたのを廊下のお父様に聞かれてしまって、それで。
そこや。夏井さんや使用人たちはどこそこにお父さんがいた、不機嫌そうだったと口を揃えたが、わしら親族は誰一人お父さんを見てないんやで。
もしあなたの想像が本当ならどういうこと？兄さんが遺産の独り占めを狙ってるということ？
No, it means he's fucked up.
もちろん死んだことを隠すなんてかなり危険なことや。果たして遺産を独り占めするためだけにそれだけのことをクラウスさんがやってのけるのか。だが可能性はある。
確かに兄さんは昔から強欲よ。兄弟全員でと受け取ったものを着服するなんてよくあることだったわ。
クラウスさんはわしら兄弟の中では一番裕福なはずや。そんなクラウスさんがお父さんの死を隠すなんて危険を冒してまで遺産の独り占めを目論むとはわしにはちょいと信じられんのだがな。だがそう疑いたくなるくらい去年の親族会議はおかしかったんやで。
Ava and the others were painfully aware of how reckless it would be to try and see Kenzo when he was in a bad mood. So during the last year's family conference, the whole time after they heard about Kenzo getting into a terrible mood, they never actively tried to contact him. That's why to this very day they hadn't found it suspicious that Kenzo hadn't shown himself once.
確かに疑ってみる価値はあるわね。でも本当に兄さんがお父様の死を隠すなんて大それたことをするかしら。
When you spend all the money and gamble it away, yeah, that's what happens.
傲慢なくせにおかしなところで小心な人よ。
He does. That is true.
そんな一世一代の大博打を本当にするかしら。
いずれにせよ今年の会議ではきっちりお父さんのご尊厳を拝謁した方がええやろな。
非常に良くない噂さ。
Oh, this is all the siblings getting together, isn't it?
どうやら兄貴の事業は俺たちの想像を超えて手ひどく失敗してるらしい。
Or at least planning to take advantage of his situation.
相当の損失を抱えてて表向きを取り繕うだけで精一杯らしい。
つまりクラウスさんからお金を借りるのはとても難しいことというわけね。
ああ、泣けてくる。
Almost.
クラウスさんにとって経済的に困窮していることはある種の弱みにはならないの？
弱み？そりゃ投資家は超えてるから投資家なんだぜ。実は金欠だなんてことになったら誰も見向きもしねえ。
信用第一の世界なのね。
Kyrie smiled thinly. Rudolph was taken aback by that smile. He had figured out that his plan, which involved raising money to get him out of his current mess by borrowing from the affluent Kraus, would all come to nothing now that they knew Kraus himself was in financial trouble.
クラウスさんの信用はクラウスさんのこれからのお仕事に必要だろうけれど、私たちのこれからには必要ないわ。
兄貴をゆするってのか。
私だったら嫌よ。血のつながった兄弟を貶めるなんて。
Rudolph felt a shiver up his spine at Kyrie's cold smile. At times, Kyrie was able to throw away all compassion and think in an extremely ruthless manner. When he felt that, Rudolph became certain that he'd never like to have her as an enemy.
他に金策があるなら、お兄さんを脅迫なんてしたくないものだわ。
あったら悩んだりしね
え。選択の余地のない問題で悩むのは人生の無駄だと思わない？
Yeah, really. I mean, if that's your only option, there's no point in worrying because it's my legitimate only option. Rudolph stopped talking, folded his arms, and lowered his gaze. Some of the terror Rudolph had felt for Kraus due to his violence when they were young still remained. And now he would threaten Kraus. That meant Rudolph would also have to fight against his childhood trauma. So to give her husband a little push, Kyrie smiled reassuringly. And perhaps coldly.
つくづく信用で仕事をしたくないものだわ。信用ほど積み上げるのに苦労して失う時が一瞬なんて割の合わない投資はない。
It's very true. As long as the trust is there, it's very profitable. It's very good to have a lot of trust. It's extremely important to have that, but it's really fucking easy to lose it. It takes a second, and it's gone.
そうだな。世の中100の信用より1枚の診察だ。
But it can get you a lot of things. It can get your foot in the door in a lot of places with a lot of trust. It's extremely important.
クラウスさんが大きな損失を出していると言っても、私たちの急場をしのぐためのお金くらいは十分用意できるはず。もちろんクラウスさんのこれまでの信用を換金してお金を作ってもらうことになるけれど、
こいつはやばい話になるな。
十分な備えが必要よ。私たちには時間も失敗も許されてない。そうだったわね。私の京都の友人たちにそういうのを洗うのが上手な人たちがいるわ。あまり世話になりたくない連中なんだけど、一度会ってもらってもいい？領収書は切れないけど、きっと投資に見合うだけのものを調べ上げてくれるわ。
Classic. No paper trail, so always a good option.
ええ。マリアも元気よ。そちらは大きなお世話よ。ありがとう。え？さあ、スケジュールを見てみないとわからないけど。
Rosa was talking to Rudolph over the phone. Rosa rarely received calls from her older siblings, so she braced herself for something serious.
実はな、次の親族会議についてちょいと兄貴抜きで意見を調整したいんだ。
エヴァ姉さんとルドルフ兄さんと私の3人で頭痛の増えそうな話ね。
It probably will be.
電話じゃ詳しくは話せない。だが、お前にとって聞く価値のある話のはずだ。
それはいい話？
もちろん。姉貴は乗り気だぞ。
姉さんが？
ローザには賛同してほしいだけだ。金を出せとか、そういう話じゃない。俺たち3人が全員結束してることがまず大事なんだ。わかる。
Rosa let out a sigh. She did so because in the past when Rudolph said Ava got into a fight with Kraus, they always used to talk to her like this right before dragging her into it.
先に教えて。
Fucking course they did.
その話は私も得をする話よね。
ああ、俺たち3人で2億ずつせしめる。
I could use 2 mil, 200
うま
million.
くいけば
That's nice.
それ以上も引っ張れるかもしれない。お前の借金、それでチャラだろ。
それはいつまでにせしめられるの？
もちろん年度内で。俺も助かる。姉貴も助かる。そしてローザも助かるってわけだ。三方丸く収まる。
姉さんが話に乗るくらいには勝算があるのね。
話を聞く気になったか。ちょいと急だが、次の日曜日の19時に銀座のお前のお気に入りの喫茶店で会おう。俺と姉貴の予定がそこでしか会わねえ。問題ないか。
2億捻出できる話なら聞かないわけにはいかないわ。では次の日曜日の午後7時にレオポルドで。
マリアちゃんによろしくね。連れてきてもいいんだぜ。
Yeah, that's a pleasant topic to bring Maria to. What the fuck?
あの子の前でお金の話はやめて。
She set the receiver down with a clunk a little violently. Apparently, either Ava or Rudolph had gotten a hold of one of Cross's weak points. They would threaten him with that and at the next family conference and force him to pay money. Even before hearing the details, she knew full well that it could be nothing good. But even so, this might be her once-in-a-lifetime chance to pay back her large debts. Rosa took a notebook out of her handbag and started to fill in the days she would be meeting with Rudolph and Ava. Then she frowned and smacked herself hard in the forehead. Because written there was DZL with Maria, something she'd planned to do with her daughter. Maria was in her room playing around excitedly with Sakataro and the others. It was because she was going to be taken to the amusement park that had just been created. Disneyland the following Sunday. Looking at the clock, Rosa saw that it was just past 9 o'clock at night. Maria was breaking the lights out rule. After covering her face and agonizing for a while, Rosa stood up and stomped over to Maria's room. The room was almost certainly a mess as well. At least tonight, that was convenient. As she stood outside the door to Maria's room, listening to the happy laughter seeping through, Rosa's face twisted in anguish once again, and she looked at the floor. Then she raised her head again. Her brow was furrowed, and her face had become an ugly expression of anger. You can just reschedule. Reschedule it earlier in the day. I don't know, do something. Anything. The weather wasn't that great. The weekend forecast had said that there was a high likelihood of a tropical cyclone growing into a large typhoon. If unhappy premonitions tend to be right, this year's family conference will probably take place in absolutely horrible weather. No, I wish that a typhoon large enough to stop boat travel to the island would seal Rokenjima away forever. If that happened, I'll be able to hide Kinzo's death as long as I wanted.
台風が彼らを永遠に遠ざけてくれればいいのに。
That is a nice thought. Natsui let out a deep sigh. Just doing that made her headache throb. As the day of the family conference approached, the intensity of her headache just kept on increasing. At that time, the phone rang. The fuck you want? Natsui turned the TV off and picked up the receiver. It's whatever.
何事ですか?
奥様に外線からお電話でございます。ですが、名前をお名乗りになられません。
Tell them to go fuck themselves then.
名乗らない。
はい。先方は話せばわかるとは申しておりますが、いかがしますか?
No, tell them to fuck off.
いたずらかもしれません。
どんな相手です?
おそらく若い男性ではないかと。お心当たりはございませんか?
若い男性?
Natsui didn't have a clue of who that might be. In the first place, there was no one amongst her acquaintances who would do something as rude as refusing to state their name. And on top of that, a young man. As a wife, she must avoid any contact that might be considered suspicious with anyone other than her husband, much less a young man. Oh, don't worry about it. Can't be all that bad. As soon as she thought this, the phone call suddenly seemed like something dirty. But at the same time, she was more interested than ever in what this person wanted to tell her. Maybe because of that, she wants to know. Never fucking know. Could it be that there was some kind of trouble related to Cross's business? What if there was some particular reason that they needed to talk to Cross's wife instead of Cross directly? That wouldn't make sense. No matter what it is, it's my duty as a wife to listen and report to Cross. If it's some kind of threat, I just have to firmly refuse and inform Cross that I received such a phone call. If it's just irritating, then I'll just have to tell Genji to never again send me a call if the caller doesn't state their name. I'll just deny it outright and say fuck off. Don't state a name, I don't give a fuck who you are. Give me a name. Or you can just go fuck yourself. As Natsui thought this, she told Genji, who was offering to hang up after all, to connect her to the person. And she set the receiver down. This just isn't going to end well, Natsui. Stop it. After a short while, the phone rang again. This wasn't the internal line, it was the extension phone line which Genji had redirected to her. So it should have already been connected directly with the mysterious man. However, the person on the other end didn't respond to her. Not liking this at all, Natsui spoke one more time, sounding displeased.
もしもし、誰ですか? 名を名乗りなさい.
Nope, hang up. Nope. Too many horror movies and films and stories start like this. Just hang up the phone immediately. She heard something that sounded like a sigh. Definitely hang up. She automatically gulped. Nope. Just not today. Not today. After remaining silent for a little longer, the man finally answered. Has it? That was the first time the man had spoken. What? The voice certainly did sound like that of a young man. But but it's a bit hard to figure out much about a person just by their voice over the phone. It sounded like a young man, but it might actually be a middle school-aged boy. Or an adult man whose voice still hadn't deepened. Gannon, is that you? No, wait. It might be too soon to even be sure that this was a male. However, the one thing was certain, though, this person spoke to Natsu in such a familiar and casual manner, Natsu had absolutely no clue who it was. Why don't you do it? I don't give a fuck. Tell me.
何を言っているのか分かりかねます。あなたは誰ですか？
If you don't answer, I'm hanging up the phone. You have 10 seconds.
そして私に何の用ですか？
I mean, just drop that. You have 10 seconds or I'm hanging up the phone. And that's all you get.
それが言えないなら興味はありません。切りますよ。
俺の望みはあんたに思い出しても
Oh,
らう。
great. Another sin.
何を思い出せというのですか？あなたなど知りませんし、思い出すような心当たりもありません。
そんなこと言うなよ。俺はあんたの子供じゃないか。
Nope, hanging up now because no, I don't think that can possibly be fact because we've already established Natsu had issues getting pregnant in the first place. So unless we're gonna say she was hit around for a few months afterwards and just claimed to be not being able to get pregnant, I'm gonna find this hard to believe.
何ですって？
That's when you really hang up.
あなたは何を言っているんです？
そんな悲しいことを言うなよ。母さん。
Oh, you're a little creepy guy over there, aren't you? That unsettling word thrust itself mercilessly into the depths of Natsui's heart and started churning it about. In her entire life, Natsui had never once been told something so unsettling. Yeah, anyone claiming to be your child would be a little interesting. I mean, I think Natsui would be able to remember if she's ever birthed anyone other than Jessica. Just going out on a limb there. In her bewilderment, Natsui felt her heart beat so loudly that it felt like it would explode.
あなたに母と呼ばれる覚えはありません。
I mean, just saying. I think she'd remember.
何のつもりか知りませんが、もう切りますよ。
俺は復讐するために帰ってきたんだ。あんたの19年前の
19 years ago. That means we have to find someone that looks like a teenager that's wanting revenge. Great. Wonder who would fit that bill, huh? I mean, surely it just can't be Canon. I mean, that would be too obvious, right? Come on. No, it has to be him. It has to be Canon. And going by that logic, it would also be Shannon in that sense. They're 19. Ah, that's believable. Beatrice, the one in Kuadorian, died 20 years ago or so? 19 years ago? One of those. Yeah, she died 19 or 20 years ago. Which, that firmly point, or 21 years ago. One of those. 21 to 19 years ago. Or 18 years. It was somewhere in that category. So it's very much possible she had a kid beforehand. Maybe that was during the time Natsui couldn't have a kid. And they said that that was Natsui's kid, but it wasn't really her kid. Let's not get into that. That's just pure fucking speculation. But I've already said that Kenzo probably did something with his daughter, so that's not surprising at all. Let's be real here. So it might be that. It might be that. Natsui's mind went blank. I still think this is going to be canon. Because Genji could have just lied and said, yeah, it's the outside line, and Kanon's just calling from a different part of the house. And from beyond the sound of the wind howling outside the window, she most certainly heard the roar of the sea from that day. That day? What? Okay, so I might be more right than I was led to believe.
何の話かわからないと言っています。もう二度とかけないでください。
Natsui's still got some explaining to do.
だからあんたを呪うためにあえてそれでも。いや、だからこそ俺もうすぐ親族会議じゃないか。
俺も母さんの子供だからね。会議の日に帰るよ。19年ぶりにあんたに復讐するために。
Breathing so hard her shoulders heaved, Natsui slammed the receiver down and hung up. Then she hit the phone, repeatedly knocking the receiver off, so that no more calls would come through it. I can hear the roar of the sea. The voice that I can hear from beyond the howling wind is certainly ha. Even if I cover my ears, even if I cover my eyes, the headache won't. Completely pale, Natsui kept on shivering as though cold. Interesting.
いる？
Hmm.
いるわよ。ベルンが望めばどこにでも。じゃあ台所の床下収納に入ってて、ぬかみその壺の中でもいいわ。ああ、私を味噌につけてかじってくれるの？
No, thank you.
でもそれなら蜂蜜につけてほしいものだわ。
Okay, girls, you can take this into a different room right now. Don't need this right now.
砂糖水で煮込んであげる。せめて砂糖醤油とみりんにして。それで何？
That's because you're an alcoholic, Burn.
副賞要求でも気取っちゃう？そうよ。この夏日の電話のやり取りは事実
Lambda Delta grinned unpleasantly as though sizing Burn up. She was probably trying to tease Burn for making that demand.
副賞拒否。さてね、拒否か応じるかどうしようかな。それを決めるのはゲームマスターの私の自由だし、その判断をいつするかさえ自由。
I'm gonna assume it's real. And something to do. So that would technically mean Canon would be the original body? Even though Shannon worked there longer. You never know with fucking multiple personalities, right? Maybe 19 years ago. Oh god. Well, it was obviously something traumatic if you remember 19 years ago. I also don't know how old this person is, maybe 2021, somewhere along those lines. I doubt they truly remember something. But it sounds pretty traumatic if Natsui's really fucking freaking about it. That being said, if that is the case, if something traumatic happens to a young child, extremely young, then it's definitely in the realm of possibility of multiple personality disorder. If not, it's almost a guaranteed fact that something mental is going to be afflicting that child. If something extremely traumatic happens to that child in their very early years of development, and that's very likely what happened to this person. If I'm going on a limb here, if I want to fit it into my narrative and spin it the way I want it to be read as. So I think that's what's going to end up taking place. I don't know what happened that day. I only assume something traumatic that you'll want revenge on. And hey, look, another piece of revenge that falls into the cake, or the little piece that I said earlier. Very interesting.
青字宣言でない限り、あんたに答える義務はないしね。そういうこと。今はせいぜい夏日の19年前に一体どんな秘密がとワクワクテカテカしてなさい。
Hey, I'm not opposed to learning more about Natsui's past. Of course, this fishy telephone call happened before October 4th, 1986. This is still before the start of the time of the game, so there's basically no need to question whether it's true or false.
ゲームマスターのあんたがわざわざ見せた以上、何かの布石だと思っとくわ。
I'm going to assume there's not going to be like a male character, at least an extra male character. We already saw some blue-haired chick that basically looked like Burn as well, accusing Natsui. So that's clearly not the same person that we were talking about. So it has to be someone at around age 19 that's doing this, and a male character around age 19. We can eliminate Jessica. We can eliminate Krause and the elder siblings and any spouses in that. Then leads Cannon, George, Battler. It's not Battler. I can guarantee that unless Rudolph really just fucks anything. Or anyone, regardless of if they're married to his brother, for God's sakes. George, same thing. Hideyoshi doesn't seem the type to be doing that, so I can probably assuredly cross them out. That leaves Canon, the only other male character around that age that fits these qualities. Because we don't know who his mother is. Now do we? It hasn't been stated. We don't know anything about his past life before he became a servant. Same with Shannon. We just know they entered the servant thing, or they were like an... Did they say they were an orphan? Did it say she was an orphan? I'm not sure. Regardless of whether she was or isn't, it still works out that way. No, I think it is an orphanage they came from. It works out even better in my favor, if you ask me.
騙しかもしれないけれど、一応あんたのこの指し手は記憶に留めておく。
It's always a smart idea. Oh, great.
このカードを伏せたまま場に出すってやつね。まあ、いた。何？ダイレクトアタック。
After suddenly being conked on the head limb, the Delta was bewildered. But perhaps this incomprehensible exchange was funny to her because she quickly went back to giggling.
これであんたのゲーム版の準備は十分？ええ、そうよ。それじゃあいよいよゲームを進めるわよ。1986年10月。何度目の1986年10月4日かしらね。無限の魔女か。ベアトリーチェ、やはり恐ろしい子だわ。ベルン側は何か行動ある？ないわよ。あんたが復讐要求に応えないならそれで終わり。ターンエンドね。スタート。クリーンアップドロー。さあ来たれ。1986年10月4日。
On to the next day. Where probably shit's gonna hit the fan, because that's how it always works.